Next, we are going to have a very informative presentation from a dear friend of mine, Mr. Daniel Glaser.
Thank you, guys. Thank you again, Snidely. Snidely and I are close personal friends. I'm here to present to you tonight a topic near and dear to my heart. It's about what it means to be cool. Snidely asked me to do this not because I'm cool, but because it's something I think a lot about. My presentation for tonight is called Cool to be Cool. So just to prepare you for what we're going to be covering tonight, I've prepared a table of coolness. We will, of course, start, what is cool? What does it mean to be cool? A brief history of cool. It's not a new phenomenon, and we'll take a look at some of the important points throughout history that brought us to where we are today. I, of course, have an experiment or a game that we can play together to use some of the tenets I'll be talking about. And then we'll understand, hopefully by the end, how we can apply some of these techniques and tenets to our own lives going forward. So what is cool? A lot of you are probably asking. I'll tell you first off, cool is a way of life. Cool, and this is from my studies, cool is where perception meets perspiration. You can think of cool as a tasty wave on a crisp autumn day. And keep in mind, as the presentation continues, a lot of these are a combination of my own findings, facts, and opinions. Cool is the Peanuts character Joe Cool. And I've been told this might just be Snoopy with glasses on. But I don't think that makes it untrue. Cool is raising the flag at Iwo Jima on a crisp autumn day. Cool is fingering a cool gal or guy. And this could be considered a recursive definition. But above all, cool is what other people tell you it is. And hopefully by the end of the presentation you'll understand that. Now I want to walk you through a very brief history of cool. These are the touch points throughout civilization and even before that have brought us to where we are today, which is a great place for being cool. There's some debate over when it all started, but about 1.2 billion years ago, sex was invented. The first eukaryotes produced sexually. That's via an exchange of DNA from two parents. And an interesting fact is sex was invented more than 1 billion years before fingering. We're going to take a trip on the spaceship of our imagination to 320 million years ago, when walking was discovered. This guy here, this little frog, he learns to walk on land 320 million years ago. And as you know, walking is the first step to jogging, which is a very cool way to get around. Hold on tight, because we're taking a move again. 3.4 million years ago, tools. This little guy. A monkey puts a stick in an anthill, forming a primitive version of the ant smusher that we all use today. There he is. Around this time, Richard Karn plays Al Borland, the master plumber and contractor from the hit TV show Home Improvement. We're going to take a step even further in time to near civilization. 12,000 years ago, agriculture and farming. Humans begin to grow and cultivate crops in the summer months, allowing for haunted hayrides come October. Which, as you'll know, is a great place to finger or be fingered. This is a topic for another time, but if you want more haunted hayride info, you can check out my other presentation, Cool to be Spooky. And Snidely will give you the URL to download that later. Buckle up. 6,000 years ago, the dawn of writing. Here we see a clay tablet developed by the Sumerians, the creators of the cuneiform language, which is inscribed as you can see. Even today, teens still doodle the Sumerian S on notebooks and book jackets. Now we have something near and dear to my heart. 1,000 years ago, the advent of guns. The first gun, as you can see, are basic bamboo tubes that are used by cops to fire spears at poor people. Even an uncool character like Winnie the Pooh can be made cooler with a simple gun. Now, closing in on today, 226 years ago. Marie Antoinette formally discovers fingering when she drops a quiche lorraine in her vagina and attempts to dig it out manually. As a word of caution, when fingering, be mindful not to puncture the baby's head. Blue jeans. 141 years ago, Levi Strauss, pictured to the right, invents jeans as a way for cowboys and coal miners to more easily finger and be fingered. The modern era. 42 years ago, David Bowie releases The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. It's a pretty cool album. Keep in mind, this is 3 years after Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin first fingered each other on the moon. How far we've come. Reverse fingering. Only 17 years ago, Al Borland accidentally reverse fingers Tim the Toolman Taylor in episode 6, season 6, episode 2 of the hit TV show Home Improvement. And where does that leave us today and tomorrow? The future is in your hands, I say, and is what we make of it. Now, that brings us to today. And if we take a moment to think back and reflect on all that we've learned, the most important thing that I can tell you is that when it comes to being cool, perception is all that matters. Now, I have a bit of an experiment because, as I said, this is something I've thought a lot about. And we're going to play a game. And the way this game works is I'm going to tell you the name of somebody, a real person from my past. A lot of what we saw today was factual. Most of it was, and it's just hard to know for sure. But these are all real people who I know personally from my time growing up in Washington Township, New Jersey. Now, some people were cool in high school, some people weren't. According to my theory, that doesn't matter. All that matters is what other people think. So I'm going to name somebody, and just based purely on that name, you're going to tell me whether you think that person was cool or uncool. I'll then tell you the truth about the matter, but that's not important. What's important is that more than half of you agree, and that's what we'll decide is the winner. So for an example, before I have a couple people come up here, here's a person named Dan Glaser. Now, show of hands, thumbs up, thumbs down, you can yell cool or uncool. In high school, do you think this person was cool or uncool?
Cool. Cool.
Cool. I think more people said uncool. So whoever said uncool gets a point, because it doesn't really matter. But in case you're wondering, that's him in the middle there. He was markedly uncool. He used to play Magic the Gathering with 5th graders at the local game zone. He did actually go to a Korn and a Limp Bizkit concert. Yeah. Those were separate. That was not the Family Value store. Those are separate concerts. And he used to masturbate to erotica because his modem was too slow to get pictures and videos. So that's an example of how this game is played. To go forward, if we have a little bit of time, I'd like just 3 contestants who are willing to give a thumbs up or thumbs down right in front of me here so we can see how this goes. If we can bring the lights up for a sec. Just 3 people who are willing to say whether or not people are cool or uncool. It'd be very helpful. Or other people on the side of the stage too, if we want. Thank you, we have 1. Oh, thank you so much. 2 and 3. Thank you, guys. Cool. Yeah, just right where this guy is fine. So, to be clear, I'll name some people, and you'll give a thumbs up if you think this person's cool, a thumbs down if you think they're uncool. Whoever votes with the majority gets the point, because it doesn't really matter. So on the count of 3, tell me whether you think Mike Bonomo was cool or uncool on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We have 2 cools and 1 uncool. Looks like the 2 in the back get a point. Good work, guys. For what it's worth, that's Mike Bonomo. Don't let his haircut fool you. He was uncool. Mike Bonomo was into Insane Clown Posse before there was a term like Juggalo. So of course he drank a lot of Faygo, and he did have a very attractive sister. It didn't hurt, but it didn't help in this game. Next up, I want you to tell me on the count of 3 whether Katie Roche was cool or uncool. 1, 2, 3. We have 2 cools and 1 uncool. I'm sorry, but the cools get the point. Again, the takeaway here is the majority determines what's cool. So Katie Roche, there she is. Very cool girl. She's a 3-sport varsity athlete. She rolled with a group of friends who called themselves LSD Kate, which stood for Lauren, Samantha, Dana, Courtney, Alexis, Katie, and Emily. She was a catcher on the softball team, and senior year she got hit in the face with a bat and had a reconstructive surgery. But again, that doesn't enter into this. So, Randall Bletcher. Let that roll out over the tongue a little bit. On the count of 3, what do we think? Was Randall Bletcher cool or uncool? 1, 2, 3. We have 2 cool and 1 incredulous audience member. But the fools have it. So that's 3 points for the man in the back, 2 for our friend here, and 1 for our friend in the front. Randall Bletcher, there he is. He was uncool. And fair to say, he was very big into hermit crabs. Both as pets and a lifestyle. He was a heavy contributor to, I think, the Linux kernel around 3.1, 3.2. And he did sign all of his math tests with his AOL screen name, Ranman55. All right, it's 3 to 2 to 1. Moving on. Pani Verma. Let's think about that. Pani Verma. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have a unanimous decision. Pani Verma cool. There he is. There he is. And guess what? Pani Verma very cool. Everybody gets the point. Pani Verma pictured here, Indian bully. He was both an Indian boy and a bully. He is here pictured as the Tin Man in our high school rendition of The Wiz. He was the closest we had to a black kid. Pani Verma in his physics class did put his penis in my friend's Gatorade. He was cool. Last but not least, we have a potential tiebreaker. Pat Bauer, cool or uncool? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Cool, cool, cool. Pat Bauer, there he is. Very cool. He was the principal. He did wear sunglasses in and he did have an affair with the biology teacher, Mrs. Boxford. Thank you very much for your questions. I'm going to move things right along because I'm getting a light. In conclusion, being cool is a mystery. I don't know, really. And if anyone has experienced fingering, please find me after the show. Thank you, guys. Here's Chris Snides and Rick Lasker.
Excellent. Give it up for Dan Glaser, everyone. I don't think guns are cool.